Welcome back to Two Fat Girls. It's me, Mandy. I apologize in advance if this blog runs long. I've been wanting to do this blog for a while, a vlog for a while, and I just haven't gotten around to it. And I'm like, you know what? I'm here by myself today right now. I have the time. I'm going to go ahead and do it because I do have a lot of stuff planned for the day. But it's stuff you guys probably don't care about. So I'm just going to get right to the vlog. This vlog, like I said, I've been wanting to do it for a while, ever since Tiffany did her, like, introduction thing. And hers was, like, 100 times more serious than mine. Like, if I would have known that she wanted me to be serious or whatever, I would have told you a little bit more. But Tiffany's vlog was so good that, like, I watched it and I was like, you know, it was just so powerful, and I was so proud of her for doing that and, for saying what she did say. So, I just thought I would tell you about my turning point when it came to me finally saying, you know what, I've got to lose weight. There's absolutely no reason for me to be like this other than it's my own fault. And it's what I'm putting in my mouth, and what I'm not doing, is not exercising, and I need to stop, because, and it's not because I want to look cute, or because, I want to fit into a size 0 pair of pants, or, for any other reason other than I needed to do it for me, not for anybody else. So, a lot of things had to happen for me to realize, you know what, Mandy, you just gotta lose weight. You just have to do it. And when I was young, I remember one time my parents, because I have always been a big child. I have never not been not fat. Seriously, I've always been overweight. And there was one point in time I remember my mom came into my room, and I guess her and my dad had been talking, because even Tiff was always big, but I think I was always even bigger than Tiff a little bit. And my mom came into my room and she's like, you know what, Mandy? She's like, summer was getting ready to start. I know school was out, and she's like, you know what? Me and you both need to lose weight. She's like, we'll lose weight. And she's like, come summertime or come back to school time, she's like, you lose weight and we'll buy you all new clothes. She's in here telling me all this stuff, and we're sitting on my bed and we're both crying. And I mean, I'm in like elementary school probably. I wasn't even in middle school. And, we're sitting there on the bed crying, and I was motivated and we were going to do it, and it never happened. Like, I don't even remember what happened after that talk, after we sat in there and cried. I don't know what happened, because I sure as hell don't remember dieting. I don't remember her trying to diet. I don't remember anything. So yeah, I've got like a little note cards that I wanted to tell you guys, like important stuff that I needed to touch on. So that's why if I look down, that's what I'm doing. So when I was in my early 20s, I'm talking, I was like 20, it was when I started hair school. So I was around 22. So that was in like 2004 when I started hair school. My back started acting really bad, and bad backs just run in my family. My job that I was doing probably didn't help, but especially on my dad's side, there's a lot of people on my dad's side that have really bad backs, that have had multiple surgeries already, and it's just hereditary, you know. And so the first time my back started acting bad, my family doctor sent me to this doctor in Louisville, right? And yeah, this story still pisses me off, like to this day. Just thinking about it pisses me off. Okay, and this was like the original Dr. House. This was before Hugh Laurie was Dr. House and was on TV being funny and cool and whatever. It's funny on TV, but it's not funny when some. Let me tell you the story first. So I get in there, right, and it's this old freaking douchey ass doctor. Pardon me. And he's like, I go in there, and my dad had actually taken me that day, and he drove me up to Louisville, and he waited out in the waiting room. So I was in there by myself, and he comes in there and he's like, yeah, tell me about my back and what's wrong with it. And, they need to put me in a back brace and all this other stuff. And then he looks down at his chart, and I'm sitting up on the table, and he looks at me, and he's got my weight, he's got my measurements, he's got all that stuff. So I know that's what he's looking at, because, every time I've gone to the doctor for anything, they're always like, you need to lose weight. I went in, it's like I freaking went in there with like almost a broken ankle one time, and they're like, well, you know what, you need to lose weight. It's like, yeah, well, me being fat did not almost break my ankle, but whatever. So he's looking at my chart, and he looks at me, and he's like, what do you do? And I'm like, I'm going to hair school. I'm going to do, I'm going to be a hairdresser. And he's like, so you have those chairs that move up and down and all this other stuff. He's like, you need to make sure you don't slump over the chair. Make sure you raise the chair up and down with you, and that'll be a lot easier on your back. And he's like, okay, so you're going to hair school. He's like, you have nice hair, you're dressed nice, you have your makeup on. And he goes, why would you let yourself look like this? And I'm sitting on the table like, what the hell? Like, seriously, I mean, that's exactly how he said it. He's like, why would you let yourself look like this? You know, he's like, you're in the beauty industry and you want to look like this. This is how you want to look. And he said everything, but you want to be fat. I mean, that's basically what he said. So he's telling me, he's gonna put me on this diet, and he's giving me all this information and stuff. And I mean, like, I was practically in tears. Like, I did not even know what to say to this man. So he leaves, and then his nurse comes in, and she's like, you know what? Just ignore him. She's like, his nurse was, I'm like 5'9", okay? His nurse was way shorter than me, just as round as me. And she's like, he told us the other day that he was tired of looking at all of us, and he put us all on a diet. So I'm like, okay, this doctor is just a douche. So I go home, and I'm like, you know what? I'm not going back. And I didn't go back because, you know, it pissed me off, but it was like an eye opening. It probably was something that I needed to hear. Maybe it did need to be put in blunt terms like that for me. So that was one. Okay, it was my parents and the doctor. And then, after that, I would lay in bed at night and think, you know what? Maybe that doctor is right. Maybe I do need to lose weight. And I would lay in bed at night and I think of all these things I'm going to do. I'm going to eat healthy. I'm going to not eat this. I'm going to not eat that. I'm going to exercise. And I would wake up in the morning and it was like I had not even thought about any of that. Like it didn't even matter, you know? And I can't tell you how many nights I did that. Just thinking, okay, it's going to be different tomorrow. It's going to be different tomorrow. And it wasn't. It wasn't different tomorrow. And the reason it wasn't was because I wasn't ready for it to be different tomorrow. If you are not ready to commit to it, it's not going to happen, and I just wasn't ready to commit to it. It just wasn't happening then. And okay, about last year was when it started getting really bad because April of last year, we flew to California, which is where we're all from, and all of our family is there. The only family we have here is my grandmother and my uncle. And so we flew back to California to see family. Okay, and we flew on like 4 different planes. Okay, the very last plane we got on, and it was the last plane to come home, I couldn't buckle a seatbelt. And like literally, it wouldn't go around me. It liked about this much. Where's my hand? It liked about this much to buckle. Like it wasn't that much. And I'm like, what the hell? But you know what? I was so freaking ashamed that I was so fat and I could not get that seatbelt to buckle that I risked, this plane crashing and me flying to the front of it because I did not ask for an extender. I wasn't going to do it. And I mean, I thought about it. And that plane ride was a really short one because I can't remember where it was from, but it was only like 30 minutes and we were back, we were back home. But I mean, there was so much stuff that could have happened and I didn't have a seatbelt on, but I was too ashamed and too proud to ask for, I need an extender. So yeah, and it pissed me off that I had been on that many planes and the seatbelt had fit on every other plane except that one. So I don't know what was up with that. So there's 3 things that I believe in. I believe in God, I believe in signs, and I believe in ghosts for realsies. And that was like my first sign something's wrong.